Thank you so much for joining us today at the Empowerment Zone. My name is Lina Khalife. I am the founder of SheFighter, and I'll be your host for today. The Empowerment Zone focuses on highlighting the achievements and voices of women, entrepreneurs, feminists, martial artists all over the world to share their stories and expertise with everybody. Today, my guest is from Hamburg, Germany. She's a journalist, feminist, and a boxer. She writes for Emotion magazine, a German monthly and online magazine for and about women's empowerment. Her best stories are not her own, but those she gets to tell about others. So please welcome Kristina APPEL. Kristina, thank you so much for joining us today. How are you doing?
Very good. Thank you for inviting me. I'm very, very excited. This is my first guest slot on a podcast, so I'm very excited.
Oh, great. So let's just jump into it. So
Yeah.
let's just face it, you're a beautiful woman. And do you get asked by like men why a beautiful woman like you would be interested in martial arts? Did you face that?
It's funny. No, actually, the only person who ever said that to me was my grandma. She said, "Oh my God, but what about your beautiful nose?" She was worried my nose would break. I don't like my nose particularly, but no, just my grandma and sometimes my
Mm.
mom. She would be like, aren't you afraid of like
So,
facial injuries and stuff? And I said, well, no, not really. I'm afraid of
so
other.
it's interesting. So do you think mostly women kind of not encourage other women to do as they say it, like boy stuff?
I'm not sure, but I do think that for the old generations, this is still new. I think, and I guess my mom was blessed with two daughters that have like guys' hobbies. If we're gonna,
Mm.
gender this whole thing, which I don't believe we should, but my sister, she's like she's downhill mountain biker
Oh, amazing.
and yeah, she does border cross and everything that goes head first down the mountain. She used to do before she became a mother. Now she's not so reckless anymore. But um, no, but yeah, it's funny. Guys just tend to say, "Ooh, now I've got to be careful about what I say," but they don't tend to comment on the face.
But do they tell you, like, for example, oh, this sports is will make you less feminine?
I don't think I've ever heard that. No, I don't. No.
Oh, great! You need to move to the Middle East. You hear that every day. They'll be like, why? Why do you choose this kind of sport? It's a bit masculine, don't you think?
Well, but I don't think that there's any reason to gender sports. I mean, if you look at it in a scientific sort of way, I guess we have found out that some sports, are some sports women are at an advantage because they have more um, how do you call it, more muscle endurance, for example,
Yeah.
than men are faster and they like their muscles spark faster than women's, but women, for example, are much better at long distance swimming, long distance running and all that kind of stuff. But I don't think it matters at all. You can do
Yeah.
any sports with any sort of stature, any gender. um, yeah, I mean, look at the Thais, like in Thai boxing. I started out in Thai boxing. I do classic boxing now, but the Thais are small, they're slender, they're very tiny, thin men, right?
Yeah.
Um, and they can take down a man of any size, you know, as
Yeah.
their opponent. So size doesn't matter, muscle size doesn't matter, body weight doesn't matter if you have the right skills and techniques.
Mm.
So.
Yeah. Have you seen those boys in Thailand that they actually train in Muay Thai in the morning and at night they're lady boys? Have you seen?
I might.
Which is a huge transformation. Like, how do they do that?
Well, I guess I can't say that I've met any of them personally, but probably I have without knowing so.
Maybe, maybe they have a secret nightlife.
I mean,
Let's just,
the thing about ladyboys is that I do find that they have exceptional bodies, and exceptional bodies usually come from doing some sort of athletic exercise, and Thai boxing is fantastic exercise for your body. So.
oh yeah. I mean, let's explain a little bit about ladyboys if they don't know what we're talking about. So do you want to explain a bit, Christina?
Well, actually, I'm not an expert on this, but I guess it's well, ladyboys dress up as women,
Mm,
and I don't know much enough about the culture to actually say if it goes into transgender, or
Mm.
if it's a cross-dressing thing only. I don't know if
I
you know.
think cross dress. I think it's like drag queen,
I think
where
it's mostly cross-dressing
yeah,
too.
but it's not even like drag queen because those men are fully like masculine in the morning and they're training Muay Thai, and I have seen that. It's so accepted in the Thai culture. Just, gender flowing. That's what I noticed. Like I've seen this traditional show where there's like, they show the master and they're dancing, and then there's this soft boy who's like, he has a lot of makeup on, and then at the end of the show, that soft boy is kind of climb on the master. And yeah, stand. Of course, you need to be also flexible and strong. And then they end it like this, and I asked the people, the Thai people, and I'm like, it's a soft boy, and that master, the story is kind of the master always have a soft boy, like a lady boy. And is it? And they're like, oh, it's very traditional. It's so accepted. But have
Mm.
you seen that kind of tradition in Thailand before? When they dance and
Well, there is a whole lot of joking about it. There's a whole lot of playfulness, I think.
mm,
But I don't speak the language, so I always think it's hard to interpret something from the outside when you can't really understand what people are saying and you don't know
yeah, yeah,
the the s- societal tradition
societal tradition. But
behind
I
it.
know it's accepted normally in Thailand. But anyway, talking about Muay Thai, which is your specialty, how did you start in Muay Thai?
And well, I actually, a friend of mine said I should try it out, and I told him he's crazy. I said, "Oh no, that's not me. I can't do it. I'm scared of everything." And then I tried it out, and I loved it. Absolutely
Mm,
loved it. And I've been going to Thailand to train in my holidays, like on vacation, for almost 10 years now.
mm,
And I it's the way I fell in love with martial arts. I have started training more traditional English Olympic boxing now, simply because I was injured a lot of the times in Thai boxing, but also because I don't know of any really really good trainers here in Hamburg. So
What's
sort of
what's uh, what's the English boxing? What does
English
it like
boxing is
differ
just
from?
just hands, whereas Thai boxing is hands and feet. You also use
Mm,
knees and your elbows to fight. And Thai boxing is you stand in a different stance. You use your weight in different ways. The rules are somewhat different. And yeah, so it's kicking, it's knees, it's elbows, it's fists, and yeah, which makes it very very challenging, but also very very fun.
I know.
It's tough. There's a phrase that trainers use, and it's no pain, no Muay Thai. So if it doesn't hurt, it's not real, and it is
Yeah.
true.
If
um,
yeah, it's so
but
true.
I also think there's a grace about Muay Thai. So Thai boxing is very graceful. It's
Mm,
a very skilled sort of technique. It's the same as English boxing. It's a gentleman's sport. So
mm,
you fight, but then you shake hands. There's a lot of respect between fighters. And Thai boxing also has a spiritual component to it. So when
mm.
you go to a traditional fight, they will open up with music and a sort of prayer, and the dancers, see, the fighters, they
Yeah,
do
I've seen
sort of
that.
an opening ritual dance, the white crew, which to me is just
Amazing.
is amazing. It's amazing to watch. It's amazing to see, and it also gives you a sort of confidence about what you're doing. It's not about beating people up. It's a sport. It's a sacred sport.
Mm.
It's something you can really respect, and something where you can put all your ambition into it and not feel like you're somewhat violent or anything. It's very
But
skillful.
yeah, walk us through the boot camp training you get. So you get 6 weeks in Thailand, right? Is it 6 weeks?
Well, you can go for as long as you want. I mean, if you're going to go and visit Thailand, I think, and I'm saying this to everyone who's listening, go and try it out just for one day, one
So
session.
what's the name of the like location you go to, you
Oh, well,
contact?
I started training in Koh Samui. Go and ask
Oh,
for
Koh
June.
Samui. Yeah, I know.
Um,
Beautiful.
Koh Samui, ask for Jun Muay Thai. I can highly recommend him. Jun used to fight in Bangkok, and he's a great man with a great family and a great family of trainers as well that live at the gym. He's taught me everything I know. And usually there's a group session in the morning and there's a group session in the evening. And we train for about 2.5 to 3 hours in the morning and the evenings. And between that, it's basically recover, eat, sleep,
Massage, right?
massage, and then repeat. And then you do it again in the evening. And it's classically, it's you warm up with running or rope skipping. Then you do a shadow boxing session. Sometimes it's led by a trainer. Sometimes you do it just on your own. And then you have pad training. You go work on the bags, and then you have one-on-one sessions, pad training with a trainer. And so that's very intensive training. I've never ever sweat the way I sweat over there.
Yeah.
And apart from everything, it's just a whole lot of fun, character building, and it's fabulous. I would recommend it to anyone, and you don't have to do it 4 weeks straight until you drop. If you don't.
Yeah. So if they're beginners, they should go for less intense. They should join the beginners lessons, of course, right?
Well, they don't. I've never seen them distinguish between beginners and intermediates or advanced, because there's so many trainers to every student that they can take care of your individual needs. But I would suggest, I mean, I would suggest taking 1, 2, maybe 3 individual lessons beforehand before you join the group. It's just easier if you know the rules of the game, if you know the names of the different moves, you know what a jab, what a cross is, you've kind of walked your way into it and you know what to expect, and then you can go.
And do they give you sparring or just pads training, skipping?
Yes, at June's there is sparring every evening lessons, not in the morning, and they alternate between hands only, so box sparring and then sparring. So every other day they will alternate. And
how is it with, like, because Taekwondo has a lot of protection, so when you spar with people, you have to fully be protected. But Muay Thai, I know it's nothing. I know there is no protection. So how do you, like, if your if your leg hit his knee, you're done. You know that. So how do you protect yourself from that?
Well, in the way I've experienced it in my times over there is that when you're training, you wear obviously your gloves, and you wear the big gloves in sparring.
Yeah.
So 10 ounces and up, definitely. And you wear shin guards. Shin guards is important. You know how it feels. Shin on shin is bad.
and buy a good quality shin guards, right?
Oh,
buy
God.
a good.
Yes. So shin on shin is painful. So shin guards are very important. But of course, yes, I mean, you get bruised. Once in my first or second time I was over there, a tourist stopped me in the street and asked me if I needed help, if I was being abused by my boyfriend, because I was blue all over. And I said, I just grinned.
Like Muay Thai.
Oh my God, this is so nice of you. It's very, very attentive and very caring. Thank you very much. But no, I'm just really bad at Muay Thai. Because I was just blue and green all over, but it's so worth it. Yes, so there's no full protection. Again, in Germany, if you fight, you wear a helmet and you wear shin guards as well. And teeth, of course, always protect your teeth.
Yeah, but tell them about the feeling of bruises, because a lot of people think, it's painful. Yes, but it's a good pain, right? Tell them about the pain.
It's like being sore from training. It's good pain. Your body tells you what you can actually handle. Your body shows you how fast you can heal. I mean, there's bruises that are bad. Like if we're talking proper hematoma, you've had them probably. They shimmer and green and yellow and violet, and sometimes they're a bit blackish, and then
I know many colors.
When they dissolve, they kind of wander off, and it's just weird. But I think one of the things I like about sports in general is I'm not so aware of myself in
Mm,
everyday life. And sports, through feeling my body, I feel myself, and I'm very aware of when I do sports. I feel what I've done, what I've accomplished, what I've overcome. You know, when you train martial arts, and I assume it's the same in Taekwondo, you get hurt, or you get hit, or you miss, you fall down, you look silly sometimes, but you just get up. And I find it's quite a big lesson, because it's easier to get up once you've been hit in a sparring session than it actually is from like an emotional hit. You know, you get up,
mm,
you sort of shake it off, you carry your war wounds with you, and you can be really proud of them. And
mm.
but you can, every day when you train, you sort of make progress, and you can feel it and you can see it, and it's very rewarding. And I'm just saying this, I'm not a professional, I'm not very good at what I do.
You are, don't believe her. I've
uh,
seen
but,
I've seen her practice.
but
She's
I
good.
do, yeah, I'm just a true believer in this sport. My niece is now 5 years old, and I think she's going to go into ballet, but I really want her to become a martial artist. um, yes, because I believe that it makes you grow. You know,
Mm.
it strengthens your mind as much as it does your body.
And why is it important for women to go into martial arts? I mean, if they have, if they want to try, like, why do you think women have a lot of fear to go into martial arts, and they kind of go to more softer sports? But
I
why do you think it's culture? Do you think it's society? Yeah.
I think it's culture and society mostly, but I also think it's sort of it's a fear of failure. Like,
Mm,
for many, I guess, in many gyms or clubs, if you're walking as a woman, you might be the only woman in the group, which obviously sometimes sets you at a disadvantage, because the guys are going to be taller than you, they're going to have a longer reach, they're going to
mm,
have a lot more force, a lot of more momentum than you bring into a fight. So it's not always easy. So I think what you do with SheFighter, but also when gyms open up and they have women's only classes, I think that's really important for those who want to start out. I don't think you
mm,
need to remain in gendered classes, but I think
yeah.
it opens up a door that many women wouldn't walk through
Mm.
if they couldn't go into a safe female-only environment.
Yeah. By the
Um,
way, that's so true. That's a lot of professional now fighters started at SheFighter, women. They
yes.
just experienced it, and then suddenly they just wanted to wrestle with men or do jujutsu or something else. But it's mostly like, I know Muay Thai is extremely important, but sometimes the trend would take over the whole country. Like, for example, jujutsu took over the whole country. But I find it like they need to learn how to stand and fight. Not all on the ground all the time. I mean, jujutsu has, of course, amazing techniques, but it's all on the ground. What about, and they say, oh, we take the person on the ground, which is okay. But again, you
Yeah.
need also to kind of finish the fight standing up. So
Yeah.
it's like different arts, but I feel like if they mix it up, I mean, not like mixed martial arts, it's kind of really violent. What do you
Mhm.
think about it? But like, it's for me, it's like it's too violent, it's too aggressive. But at the same time, if we combine these techniques and trainings in a proper way, like martial arts, how they do it, it would be really beneficial to people.
Yeah. I mean, I think all this gendered way of thinking about, how women are not supposed to be hitting people, and they're supposed to protect their bodies from bruises and cuts, and I know boxing is not a pretty sport. Like, it's the first thing my teacher said in my very first lesson. She said, if you want to look pretty, you can't go boxing, because you hunch over, you pull your shoulders forward, you keep your chin down, so you sort of always have a double chin. Um,
So true.
it's not pretty. When I train, my hair sticks to my face, and you can see like my scalp through my hair, and it's just like my face is red, and you can't wear makeup because it will get all in your eyes, and it's
No.
it's not pretty, but that's the beauty of it. I think that's the beauty of it, because it's like, when you see a woman fight, you see all her beauty and all her strength. It's just, it's the most beautiful thing, being reliant on your body, knowing what you can do with your body,
Mm.
standing strong on 2 feet, finding your balance, um, being resilient. It's fantastic. And every woman, I think we face so many struggles, like, you know, emotionally, um, in society, everything. Like, women fight all the time, not in a violent, angry sort of way, but we have to fight for everything, you know,
Mm.
for rights and money and recognition and all of that. And through boxing or martial arts, you can sort of, you can build that
Mm.
strength. You can you know, teach yourself to be a better fighter.
That's amazing. And tell us more about your work with Emotion magazine. I mean, it's for women
Yeah.
magazine. Tell us more about it. I mean, why you're also interested in women and gender?
Um, well, why am I interested in women and gender? Um, well, because I meet people like you. We met through my work at Emotion magazine. Um, well, with Emotion magazine, or in the short time before I started working there, that's when I found my feminism, basically. And we write about women and for women. We write stories about psychology and women's careers and politics, and all sorts, everything that sort of concerns a working woman these days. And I've met, through this work, I've met the most amazing women. They achieve so much, and their stories need to be heard and need to be told. You know, there's hardly any history books that feature mostly women. There's
Mm.
nobody tells the story of women. You know, who are the experts that talk in television shows or on radio
Mm.
shows? It's usually the men. And we try and say it over and over and over again. We need more representation for women, by women. We try and make women's voices heard. We organize events that put women speaker onto the stage, like you.
Mm.
And I think that's very important, because not just in Germany, but everywhere in the world, we've just got such a long way to go, because our equality only exists on paper.
Mm.
So
And in
yeah,
some countries, it doesn't even exist on papers.
that's very true. Very true.
Yeah. But is it different for Germany? I feel like also women there has achieved a lot compared to other countries. But how is it about gender equality in Germany?
Well, if if you ask me if women are equal here, hell no, they're not. And I think throughout the pandemic, it has actually become worse again. I think this whole recession is a she session. Women have suffered more than anyone else
Mm.
during this time, and they tend to do so in every crisis. Um, we, you know, loads of people, especially men, say, well, you know, you've got a female chancellor, like, you're fine, you know.
Mm.
But it's not about that. It's never ever enough to have this first woman something, first woman CEO or something. One is never enough. We need to
No,
reach
it's never
critical
enough.
mass. And in Germany, we still have, you know, the tax system disadvantages women. We don't get equal pay. The pay gap is still over 20%. We have
Mm.
60% in pension gap. So
Mm.
old, like, women, old aged women have 60% less money available to themselves than the men do. That's just absolutely freaking crazy.
I
um,
know. It's
and
just pissing, you know, it's just annoying because the opportunities are there just no opportunities for women. And they say, oh, women are being lazy, they don't go after the jobs or the
yeah.
opportunity, but there's no opportunities. And even if they speak about it, like I've seen different corporates or like companies where they say, oh, we're trying to get 50-50
Mm,
gender, like equality in the company, but they kind of like have something deep inside. When they interview someone, they're like, oh, we want a man for this job. Like, for example, if it's an IT or software engineer, or and now unfortunately with the tech industry, everything is booming in tech. Everybody wants to have software engineer, they want to have an IT person, technician, all these social media also experts, and it's mostly dominant by men.
Yes, it's true. But in Germany, I would say there is a lot of opportunities, but they don't get opened up for women.
Mm,
Like, we have this law where public companies, they can set themselves a goal for like a quota for women in their boards and their CEOs, and it is allowed to set yourself a quota of 0, and they do it. So we've
mm,
got like this, it's a very German way of trying to encourage people to do the right thing, but not making them do the right thing. And so we're just, everything's going too slow.
mm.
Also, when women here, it feels like when women here make a mistake, they get sacked. Now men get to make mistakes
Oh,
over
100%.
over and over again, and they get promoted for it, or put in a different position of power if
Mm,
something's gone wrong. But women are always get sacked, and then it's always, it went wrong because she's a woman. Well, that's never the case. um, Also, there is we say there's a pipeline problem,
mm,
but I feel there's another analogy for it. It's more of a broken rung problem. Like, we have problem, women don't get promoted the same way that men do within a company. So early in their careers, they get sort of filtered out, and that's why none of them rise within their ranks. Women tend to have to change the company in order to make progress, like reach a higher position, whereas
mm,
men get promoted within a company. All that makes it much more difficult for women to advance and to actually fill higher positions. But if we don't reach a critical mass in the positions of power, women can't promote other women and can't help
mm.
the
That's
change.
why I feel all the time that women are trying too hard to reach a position or to reach a goal. That's why when they reach that goal, they become the worst enemy for a woman. And then then they put all the pressure on another woman because they are feeling the pressure, and to get to that level they knew it's like it was so hard to get there, and I'm just not gonna let someone else take it. It's like kind of because they know there's not much opportunities for women, and they know they have to be completely right all the time, or if they do a mistake, they're fucked or they're fired. So
Yeah.
they put more pressure on other women. That's why a lot of people would say, I'd rather deal with a man boss than a woman boss, because it's much easier, because the men don't feel threatened every day that they're gonna lose their jobs. They're kind of like chill. They know, men have each other's backs, but women don't have any, like supporting group.
Yeah, I do. I know exactly what you're talking about, and working with at Emotion Magazine and talking to so many women in leadership, I feel it's become an urban myth. I think that's the 90s stories, but it's
Mm,
not the 2020 story. I think the 2020 story is that women have realized that they can reach so much more when they work together, when they empower each
mm,
other, when they make room for each other. It's very, very important, because that whole, I need to be the only one, and I fought so hard, and I don't want other people to have,
mm.
to have it easier. That sort of diminishes the whole feminist movement. If we weren't thankful for what women before us have done for us,
Oh yeah.
where would we go? I mean, that's just ridiculous. So I think, and I just recently had this interview with two US feminists, Anne Friedman and Aminatou So. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. They've coined the shine theory,
Mm.
and they say, if I don't shine if you don't shine. So
Mm.
it's important to
Highlight somebody else.
yes, highlight somebody else, but also help others along. So if you're a freelancer and you can't do a job because you don't have the time, recommend another woman. If you're in a position of power or in a hiring position, make sure that many women get considered. If you have
Mm.
the chance, mentor another woman. Be happy for your friends if they become more successful than you are. They might help you along. It's great to surround yourself with good and successful people,
Yeah.
good and successful women, because they have the power to
Mm.
lift you up. And if we don't lift each other up, we're not going to get anywhere, because What we really need is men to lift women up, to actually speed this whole process along. But if
Oh
we
yeah.
don't support each other, when will they start supporting us? It's never going to happen if
They
we.
don't even, I noticed they don't really, there's not a big percent showing up to women's conferences.
No, there's
It's
not.
mostly like three, four men. That's it. And
I think,
probably they work in a women's organization.
I think for them it must be like women joining a martial arts class for the first time. That's what it must be like for men to join a women's conference.
Yeah.
It's sad, but it must be a bit daunting and a bit scary. I can understand it, but every man has female friends, so just tag along
Hmm.
and do it. If you don't like it,
But
you don't have to come back.
yeah, but maybe some men don't, like they don't want to feel like they support women because their group of other friends, men, who might say, "Oh, look at him, he's becoming a softie," or make fun of him. Especially in some countries. I was making fun on stage in Dubai, I guess, or something. Like I always make fun of Middle Eastern men all the time. I love it. I love it. They join like women conferences, and I say, "Oh, all the men are here because they're just waiting for lunch," or there's a hot celebrity actress there they want to check out, and
Yeah.
they all laugh so much because they know it's true. They
Yes.
know it's true. Like they know they're not here fully to support women.
Yes. I mean, I guess there's I think it's funny for a little bit, and then
Mm,
it becomes a very serious issue, because I think what the core of the struggle of feminism is toxic masculinity. You know,
mm,
if and toxic masculinity isn't men being harmful to women; it's men creating harmful behavior between each other.
oh
It's
yeah.
having to measure yourself against other men, losing face in front of other men, having to put women down to elevate yourself. That's toxic masculinity, and that's why women are, uh,
Mm,
have been historically subdued and disadvantaged and kept small, um, because men need to boost
right.
their ego in front of each other, and I think that's a huge problem, and I think that's why on a small level not many men take parental leave. I mean, I have no idea what it's like in Jordan, but we should be further along in Western Europe, because
Mm,
the Swedish can do it. Why can't we? I don't
mm.
understand. Well, it's
I
because
think
their bosses will say, well, your wife's got you whipped. She's got you whipped. You don't need to go home and change diapers. Why would you do that? That's a woman's job.
mm,
Well, it's a parent's job. And all that saving face and being cool and being
mm,
alpha and all that, that's what ruins the whole
yeah.
equality movement.
But it's mostly appreciated in the media. Like they always show the more masculine men, even what I noticed in America too. I mean, unfortunately, sometimes, we think we're advancing in some things, then media comes and ruin the whole image of even women, how they need to wear, how they need they need to eat. They
Mhm.
kind of like, and a lot of people follow, unfortunately. They
Mhm.
follow it. Like little kids, girls want to look exactly like all these celebrities and, acting extremely thin. They don't go in like a lot of, masculine sports, as they say it, or martial arts. Yeah, it's unfortunately influenced the whole world, but that's what the media sell. They
Mhm.
sell. I've even seen, like, have you seen that Netflix where they highlight a woman being smart in chess?
I had
It's
the what is it called, the woman's gambit or something?
Queen Gambit,
Queen's
or
gambit.
yeah,
It's supposed to be superb. Is it good?
it's good, but at the same time, they show you that she looks really, really good and perfect. They have to, they can't show her like just a normal girl. They show her completely perfect, beautiful, stunning, and smart at the same time,
Mhm.
which is good. But I'm like, but maybe most women who are into chess they don't look like this. Technically.
Well, but that's saying that there's no good-looking IT guys, because nerds have to look.
Yeah.
That's not, come on, that's just being prejudiced, Lina.
Yeah,
You
I'm
can't
being
say
like, because no, for the media, they always have to have a beautiful woman for people to follow that series. If they put like a normal woman, like, have you seen also this? I forgot what's her name. Ugly Betty. Have you seen?
I have not seen
It's
Ugly
like
Betty.
that was a long time ago in the 90s, where they had this, and it became famous, but they showed her completely, and they call it Ugly Betty. Can you believe it? They call it. But she was such a nerd, and she even had like her teeth were like had braces on it, and she was a bit chubby, and like with thick glasses. And but this series also, because it is sometimes true that just women have different sizes, different looks, different.
Mhm.
But now all the media showing is perfect, perfect.
I mean, it's true. I do find that it's getting better.
Mm,
I think about 10 years ago was awful. Like, I really
mm.
appreciate now that online sales pages and stuff, they don't what's it called, Photoshop. Thank you. They don't
Oh.
Photoshop like they don't Photoshop the cellulite away and the
Oh
wrinkles
yeah.
and everything, so they don't sort of like iron the skin.
Mm,
um I do appreciate that, but I totally see where you're going with the whole media
mm.
stuff. But I do think the real problem lies within society and education, because if we don't teach children that that's not real, how are they supposed to know? Like,
Exactly.
it's power lies in knowledge, and
Mm,
power lies in education. It's like, if you don't tell young kids that, or, well, I hope not young kids, but say teenagers, if you don't teach them that porn isn't real sex, then how are they supposed to know that that's not the way to treat another human being? We need to talk about this. We need to talk about, that woman on that billboard, she's photoshopped. You
yeah.
don't need to have an ass like that. That's an important message, because I think it will take some time for advertising to get where our head is at
Mm,
the moment. Because people like shiny and beautiful things. I like shiny and beautiful things. I mean, I
everybody.
I prefer watching movies with good-looking men in them. It's just nicer if
Borat, maybe. Have you seen Borat?
yeah. See, I don't
It's
enjoy.
not even. It's not
Sorry,
even
I
sexy.
don't enjoy his swimwear, Mary, very much. But you know, I mean, it's
I know, but tell
beauty
us
in the eye
about.
of the beholder. But still, obviously, yes, of course, Hollywood, and
Yeah,
uh,
shy. Yeah, but
and
tell us. I'm excited people to know more about. You went to Antarctica one time, don't you?
oh, you're thinking of Finland. You're thinking of Finland. Yes, I was in northern Finland.
I know. I call it Antarctica.
Yes,
It's so cool. What happened with you? You tell me the story.
I think you probably saw an Instagram story, didn't you?
No, I was in Germany and I saw your finger.
Oh, you saw
Remember?
my finger. That's right. You saw my finger. Well, I was in northern Finland for a story, and it was a great story. It was I was visiting a young woman, Tinja. She breeds huskies,
Mm,
and she lives the northern lifestyle, like traditional northern lifestyle. So she lives without electricity and without running water, and she breeds husky dogs, and she goes to like sleigh champs dog sleigh championships and stuff, and she rides her horses without a saddle
oh,
and,
amazing.
and stuff, and it's just amazing. And she's got a little log cabin that you can rent, and I went up there with the photographer Charlotte, and we had the time of our lives. And we were never ever in our lives have we ever been so cold. We still talk about it all the time. And I got frostbite, and I lost the tip of my middle finger.
But did you lose also the feeling of it, or you completely lost
No,
it?
well, the feeling was gone for about 2 years. It's back
Mm.
now. It's
Oh,
really cool now. No, it's very good. But I lost the whole, like, all the layers of skin. Like, it was like
oh.
open flesh. But it looked like a huge blister. I had a finger that looked a little bit like ET's finger.
Mm.
It was a huge blister, and that came off after a while. And then for a while, I couldn't really close the button of my jeans properly because it hurt so much. I
It
couldn't
hurts.
do anything with that finger. But yeah, so it was proper frostbite, like textbook frostbite. My physician was very impressed. He'd never seen anything like it before. But it was fantastic. I made fire, you know, I chopped wood. You had to
Amazing.
put on like 6 or 7 layers of clothes just to go outside to go to the toilet, and then you had to, like, in there you had to take it all off again and pee very fast. So
It
you could
must be a challenge.
it was a challenge for the mind and the body. It was very cold,
You
like
need those Canadian jackets. Do you know them? Canada Goose.
a Canada Goose. Yes, but I think
It's for the minus minus like 50, minus 40. Crazy.
yes. No, I had quite good clothes, but we even slept in our skiing clothes. It was just
Too cold.
it was too cold, but it was fabulous. It was great.
That's great. So my last question is for you. Where can people find you? Or find about more about the podcast, everything you do, about women in Germany, all of that.
Yes, well, as a disclaimer, most of it is in German.
Mm,
My social media accounts, I mix German and English, of course, all the time. So I'm on Twitter and Instagram. My handle is Kristina Marilyn,
mm.
Kristina spelled with a K. And you can find me on LinkedIn, of course. Kristina APPEL and Emotion Magazine should guide you in the right direction. And yes, Emotion Magazine, emotion.de is our online equivalent. And did I forget anything?
No, I'll write it all down. You send it to me an email and I'll write it all down in the
I will do that.
yeah.
Yeah.
But thank you so much, Christina. That was amazing for me Saturday morning, for you Saturday afternoon,
That's right.
and I just love it when women, empower each other, and women in martial arts, women badasses. Why not, right? So
Right.
no, thank. y-
I think most women are badasses in one way or the other. But if you have never tried to do boxing or taekwondo or anything like that, do it. It doesn't matter how old you are. Ask Lina where to go. Ask me where to go. It will.
Not during the pandemic, everything is shut down.
It, not right now. It's very dangerous right now. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
it's changed my life, and it will open up your eyes and minds. I'm sure of it.
yeah.
Thank you, Lina, for having me.
Thank you so much, Christina. And for everybody watching, please subscribe on our website if you haven't subscribed yet. And wait for I hope it's like every week guest interview. I'm trying my best.
Don't
But thank
promise
you.
anything.
But thank you so much, everybody, and have a wonderful weekend.